All right, guys, it's Mrs. Regioni again, and this time I am going to walk you through our fractal activity. So, you have two options to create this activity. One would be if you get a blank sheet of paper and some colored pencils or crayons, or you can open up a new Google slide presentation, and then we can create our Sierpinski triangle. So the first thing that you need to do is create a large triangle. Now, if you're drawing it on a piece of paper, you might want to grab a ruler or another straight-edged object in your room or house so that way you can use it to get nice straight lines. Now, if you are doing it in a Google slideshow, what you're going to do is you can come up here to this shape icon, click it, go here, and then select the triangle. Our first triangle is going to look just like this. All right. So I just started and I dragged it down. Now, the one thing that I want you to think about for this first one is we're going to leave it white. So you can see that it automatically fills in gray. That's fine if you want to leave it like that. But if you're doing it on your paper, don't color anything in. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this triangle. You guys are going to do everything on one slide, but I'm going to change slides to walk you through each step. So the next step is that we are going to have to, if you remember, a fractal is when something keeps repeating itself. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a triangle inside the triangle. So you can see that if you're doing it on your paper, you're going to kind of find those midpoints on each of the edge. You can see this is the middle from here to here. This is the middle on this edge right here. And then you can see that when connected, they make an upside down triangle. So the same thing I'm going to try over here. Now, again, I'm going to go up to shapes. I'm going to go to triangle. You're going to notice that when you start to draw your triangle, it always faces up. So there's a couple ways that you can flip your triangle. You can start by grabbing it right here and you can turn it that way. That's one way you can do it. Or if you wanted to, let me undo that for a second. You can right click on this triangle and you can see where it says order or rotate, and you can come down here. And if I hit flip vertically, you can see now it's an upside down triangle. So one of the things I realized is that, oh, my triangle wasn't exactly big enough, so I might have to play around a little bit by moving those corners. And you can see that now I have an upside down triangle. One of the things that's nice about this is with the colors, you're going to really start to see those smaller triangles and it creates a nice picture. So I'm going to highlight this new triangle. I'm going to come up to the fill color icon right here, that bucket, click it, and let's make this one blue, just like the one in the hand-drawn example. Now, again, don't forget, if you are doing this in Google Slides, you're staying on one slide the whole time. My presentation, though, is going to move to a new slide each time, so that way I can show you how the image will change with the directions at the top. If you ever need more time while I'm going through, just push pause on this video. You can carefully read the directions right here to figure out what you need to do. So now we need to continue this process of making more triangles. So you can see that after I put this in, I had created 1, 2, 3 empty spaces. So you can see our next step is with these white triangles, we're going to, again, find those midpoints and put in 3 more triangles. So on the hand-drawn example, you can see that I found the midpoints of each of those white triangles that were left after I put the blue one in, and I drew in 3 new green triangles. So if you are hand drawing, you can start now and try that. For us, doing it in Google Slides, again, I have my triangle, and remember, it's going to come up right side up. So again, you can just use this and flip it, or if you forget, you can right click, go to rotate, and you're going to hit flip vertically, and now it's upside down. So again, I do my best to try and find those midpoints and create my triangle. All right. And this time we said that we were going to fill it in with green. You can use any colors you want. I'm just using green to match the example that we have already. Now, what's nice is I don't have to continue to do all of those steps where I hit the triangle icon. You can if you want, or you can just click on it and you can hit copy and paste. And you'll see that here I have my next triangle. Now remember, it might not be perfect. So if you need to adjust it a little bit, that's fine too. And again, I'm going to copy paste and I'm going to put it on this side. So you can really see that our two pictures are really starting to match up. And you can continue to do this until you have your spaces filled up. So let me try again, copy and paste. So that, again, this will be our last step. And you can see that on my example, we didn't really go any further. But with this example, I'll show you. So again, on your paper, make it match. And if you're doing Google Slides, you can do it just like me. Now, if you didn't want to go back up and hit to create a new shape, I could just click one of those upside down ones already, copy paste, and I can change the color. I think this time I want to do pink. And now you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now notice that the first time we put our blue triangle in, it created 3 white triangles. Then when I put this green one in, you can see that each green one created 3 new white triangles. So this one had 3 around it, this one had 3 around it, and this one had 3 around it. Now remember, all I did was copy paste this green one over here and colored it pink. So now I can adjust the size and I don't have to do that rotating and flipping step from before. So you can see, to the best of my ability, I'm trying to place it into this spot here. And I think that's starting to look pretty good. It's just a slightly big. Let me move my directions up a little bit so that doesn't. Perfect. And you'll notice that, wait a second, this pink triangle created 1, 2, 3 new white triangles every time. So again, I can hit copy, paste, pull it down into all of these white areas. And again, you can see it's starting to repeat that pattern. And I will continue to fill in my space. Remember, if you're drawing, you are just drawing them into each of these white spaces in my example that I provided. And it's going to look just like what we're doing now. All right, a couple more. And again, you'll notice that every time I put in a pink triangle, it is creating 3 new spaces. So if you remember, a fractal is when this pattern will go on forever and ever and ever. You can stop here. If you want to explore how small you can really take it, go for it. I'll just do one part here. So here, let's see, I'll start again. I'm going to change that color. We'll go yellow this time. And now I have to shrink my triangle even smaller to try and fit in that space. That actually wasn't too bad. Maybe just a smidge smaller. All right. So then what I'll do is I will take that triangle, put it in each of my spaces. If I have to adjust the size, I can. And again, you can see that, wait, I put in that yellow triangle and I get 3 smaller spaces. Well, let's just see what happens if I do it one more time. Can I even make it that small? All right, let's go purple this time. And I'm going to drag this corner in ever so slightly. Oh my goodness. And again, when I put that yellow in, 1, 2, 3 spaces, let's see. Oh, too big. I don't know if I'll be able to make it small enough to fit in there. All right. So again, it might be easier if you're drawing, but you can see that I kind of have it in there. There's a little bit of an overlap. If you want to really be precise, you can come up to this magnifying glass right here, And you can hit zoom in. You can see when I hit to zoom in to 200, it makes it a little bit easier for me to make those adjustments and get my triangle just right. And now you can see it's kind of starting to come together. And then you would have to do that for each of those gray or white spots. And once again, you're going to notice that I put this in and look, 1, 2, 3 more white or gray triangles appear. So when I hit fit, it just takes it back to that original size of my slide. So guys, have fun creating this. Don't forget that you could have paused the video or you can go back and rewatch it to reread these steps. Just like with the other activity, when you're done, we would love to see what you created, your colorful tessellations, or excuse me, your Sierpinski triangles. So this is our fractal activity, and go ahead and take a screenshot or take a picture and upload it using the Google form.